The countdown is on. This time it's T-minus 1 week exactly until a potential federal government shutdown right before Christmas. See those dates highlighted in red? This has Republican leaders on pins and needles at this hour as they remain very divided over the terms of a plan to avert a partial shutdown. December 8th is when it would happen. And of course, if they did do a 2-week extension, that would bring us to December 22nd, just Friday before the weekend before Christmas. This is very disconcerting when the 2017 clock officially runs out of time. What will be happening to the government? Meanwhile, the Senate facing a host of issues before it votes to pass its version of the tax reform bill. With so much uncertainty at this hour, let's focus on the government shutdown. Joining us now in a Fox Business exclusive, Representative Blaine Luetkemeyer. He serves on the House Financial Services Committee and the Budget Committee. He's joining us live from Capitol Hill. Sir, give us a sense right now what you and your fellow members are doing on both sides of the aisle to avoid a government shutdown.
Well, earlier today we had a meeting, a conference with all of the Republicans, and it was explained to us the alternatives of December 22nd, or what some of our members want to do is to move it into mid-January. And there's a whip count a while ago on the floor with our last vote. I do not know the total of the whip count, so I really don't know where we're at with that. But you're correct. The leadership would like to move it just a short-term CR for 2 weeks. We believe that we can knock out the differences with ourselves in the Senate to get this done. Leadership would like to have this all wrapped up before the end of the year. We're tired of dealing with it. It's not that difficult to get done. So we believe that it's probably going to happen that way. But again, there are a group of folks that are going to have to be persuaded that's better than extending it to mid-January. So at this point, not sure. But there will not be a shutdown. We're going to make sure that the government does not go home for Christmas with everything shut down. That's not going to happen.
Can you clarify to me, when you say it's not that difficult to get done, then why not get it done before December 8th, next Friday?
Well, that's a great question. We've had a lot of things on our plate. You know, we've had tax reform, we've had health care reform all through the summer and this fall. We've had flood insurance reform, CHIP extension. There's been a lot of things that we've been working on. There's general agreement on where we need to go with the budget. It's been held up basically because of the Democrats' request to put a DACA fix in the bill. Basically, at this point, we have, with our own caucus, agreed that's not going to happen. And it's a matter now of getting that over in the Senate, getting that to be a realization of the way we're going to do things, and it's beginning to happen. So I think shortly we'll have this all done and wrapped up, and everybody gets to go home for Christmas. The government will keep operating, people keep getting their checks and services, and I think we're going to be okay.
From your words to God's ears, my worry is that if you do the 2-week CR, continuing resolution, that December 22nd is cutting it awfully close, and people will be so distracted. Who knows what issues will be holding up once we have the Senate and the House tax reform bill mixing and merging, and that discussion.
Well, I think we can walk and chew gum at the same time here, and if you've been watching, the way we operate here in D.C. over the last number of years, you know that we don't do anything in a timely fashion. We do it at the 11th hour of the 11th hour, and so I think this is no different. We're going to continue to kick the can down the road until the very, very last minute, and then get something done.
There was this report.
It drives me as a business person crazy, because that's not the way I operate a business. But this is the way, unfortunately, politically, you wind up with these folks going back and forth, and the differences of opinions to the point where you wind up, pushing every single deadline to the very end of the deadline.
There was this report, unconfirmed, but a report that President Trump had said that a government shutdown could benefit him politically. Is there any positive to a government shutdown?
I don't think there is, from the standpoint that everybody gets some blame. The economy is hurt. Individuals are hurt. Our country looks like it's lurching along. We need to make sure we have consistency, and I think consistency in governance is extremely important to the rest of the world, and also, as it's important to you, the financial markets. So I think this is all going to get worked out. I think there's a lot of concern and angst over something here that, if you looked at the history of how we handle these things over the last several years, it's always 11th hour.
I know.
Go right to the end of the deadline. It's not the way to operate. Trust me, it drives me crazy on a personal basis, and it drives everybody else like you, and the market's crazy. But we're going to get it done.